Methods of producing electric charges. By listing, we have the first one is by friction. By friction, we have by contact. Okay, let's talk about by induction. By induction and by contact. By friction, by induction, and by contact. Let's talk about charging a body by friction. Charging the body by friction. Of course, when you talk about friction, there must be a mutual contact between the two objects in question. So, when a charged object, when two objects is rubbed, not really charged object, when two objects are rubbed together, electrons are said to be transferred from one object to the other. When two objects are rubbed together, electrons are said to be transferred from one object to the other. The one that transfers the electron is charged positively. The one that receives the electron is charged negatively. Then the donor, that's the one that donates the electron. We call it donor in chemistry. The donor is always the positive charge, while the acceptor is always the negative charge. It's still the same case here. So the object that transfers the electron is charged positively, while the object that receives the electron is charged negatively. So the only thing you need to know is which object is the one transferring the electron and which object is the one receiving the electron. Then you can now tell yourself that the one that gives out the electron must be positively charged. Then the one that accepts the electrons must be negatively charged. Let's give you instance of charging a body by friction. I have three instances for you. Number one, an ebonite rod, with 4 acquires a negative charge, while the 4 acquires a positive charge. An ebonite rod with 4 acquires a negative charge, while the 4 acquires a positive charge. How do I know that ebonite rod with 4 will acquire a negative charge? This is because charges are transferred from the 4 to the ebonite. That's the only thing you need to know. When ebonite rod is rubbed with 4, get an ebonite rod and rub it with 4, charges are transferred from the 4 to the ebonite. Just as when you, this display, when you get the tip of your pen, when you rub the tip of your pen vigorously on your hair is just like representing the 4, and after some times of rubbing the tip of your pen on your hair, then tear out a little piece of paper, you find out that it will definitely attract it. So this simply, in this case, it is your hair that transfers the electron to the tip of your pen. Definitely your hair is charged positively while the tip of the pen is charged negatively. So that's the case here. The 4 transfers the electron to the ebonite rod. Therefore, the 4 acquires a positive charge, while the ebonite, which is the receptor of electron, acquires a negative charge. The next instance is a polythene. A polythene rod with wood acquires a negative charge also. Acquires a negative charge, while the wood acquires a positive charge. Okay, you can see similar case here. It is the wood that gives the charge to the polythene. Therefore, the wood is charged positively, which is the donor. The wood is the donor and the polythene is the acceptor. So, since the wood gives the electron to the polythene, the wood will acquire a positive charge, while the polythene will acquire a negative charge. So, these two cases are very similar because it was the 4 that gives the charge to the electron to the ebonite. In this case, the wood equally gives the polythene the electron. Therefore, the wood acquires a positive charge, while the polythene acquires a negative charge. Then the last instance is a glass rod. A glass rod with silk, acquires a positive charge. In this case, the order has changed. Acquires a positive charge, while the silk acquires a negative charge, while the silk acquires a negative charge. In this case of glass rod with silk, we know what silk is. It's a cloth material. When you get this particular cloth material, of course, a silk is a glass rod, is a rod made of glass. Then you get this clothing material and rub it on the body of the glass rod. At the end of the day, electrons are transferred from the glass rod to the silk. Electrons are transferred from the glass rod to the silk. So the glass rod acquires a positive charge, while the silk acquires a negative charge, because in this case it was the glass rod that gives out the charge to the silk. Then the silk accepts the charge to become negative. Then the glass rod gives out the charge to become positive. Okay, that's charging a body by friction. Then the next one we are going to talk about now is charging a body by induction.